We're going to be talking about scatter plots today, and we're recording outside, so if you hear some strange noises, that might be what it is. So just bear with me. A scatter plot can be called a scatter plot, scatter graph. It is a mathematical diagram that we use on a coordinate plane, and it displays values of two variables that are somehow linked together. Okay, and so basically what it is, it's a series of dots. All right, this table shows the number of cookies in a jar from the time since they were baked. We're going to graph the scatter plot. You'll notice that the time since they were baked is on the bottom and the number of cookies is along the side here. So at 1 minute or 1 day, the days, right? Okay, at 1, there's 24 cookies. At 2, there's only 16 cookies. At 3, there's 10, and 4, there's 7. You'll see the 4 distinct dots there. Okay, that is a scatter plot, and if you remember that we called that a discrete graph before. Okay, all right. When you do scatter plots, a lot of times what you're doing is you're looking for a correlation or some kind of relationship between the two sets of data. You can have 3 different kinds of correlation. You can have a positive correlation, which basically means if I were to draw a line on here, the line would look like it was going up. Now you'll notice I touched a couple of the dots, but there's no way I touched all of the dots there. All right, but the general feeling is that as the x value increases, the y value increases also. That is a positive correlation, both of those going in the same direction. This one, again, if you were to take an arrow and draw it on there, you would get the feeling of a downward movement. So as the x value increases, the y value is decreasing. So they're going in opposite directions of each other, which is negative. On this one, if I were to take a line and put it here and then say, okay, does it go like that? Does it go like this? Does it go like this? Does it go like this? I really can't tell. There's no clear-cut correlation there, so that we say that there is no correlation. You don't always have to have a graph in order to figure out what the correlation is. Sometimes you can tell simply by the relationship and using common sense. So here's some examples here. Okay, now remember, a positive correlation means that as one increases, the other one increases. A negative correlation means that as one increases, the other one decreases. They go in opposite directions. And no correlation means that they really have no effect on each other whatsoever. Okay, the average temperature in a city and the number of speeding tickets that are given in the city. Do people speed faster when it's hot? Like as the temperature goes up, do they drive faster? As the temperature goes up, do they drive slower, or is there no correlation there? I would say this would be a big fat no correlation. Okay, no correlation. All right, the number of people in an audience and the ticket sales. So again, if the number of the people in the audience goes up, does that mean ticket sales went up? Or if the number of people in the audience goes up, does that mean ticket sales go down? Or is there no relationship? This one would be a positive correlation. Okay? A runner's time and the distance to the finish line. So as a runner's time increases, so the longer he's been running, is he closer to the finish line? So the distance to the finish line is less? Or the more time he's running, the farther away from the finish line? I'm hoping that he's running towards the finish line. This would be a negative correlation. I'm asking you now to choose which scatter plot best represents this situation. The relationship is the age of a car and the amount of money spent each year on repairs. So you need to be thinking about this. As the car gets older, do we spend more money on repairs or less money on repairs? Okay, and is that a positive correlation, a negative correlation, or what? Okay, now, there's some tricks to this one. First of all, we look to make sure that the axes are the same. They are. I'm looking at this first one right here, and I see that I have a car that's negative 4 years old. Well, that can't happen because I can't have a car that's negative 4 years old. Okay, I can't have anything below 0. Okay, here it looks like that the first year I spent about $300, the second year $250, the third year about $650, The fourth year, about 500. So this looks to me like the older the car gets, the more money I'm spending. This one looks like the first year I spent almost $900. The third year, I don't know, $675, etc. It's going down. So I would have to say that this one represents that, okay? Now, you try one. Put this on pause and you try it. Once again, there's one of these that you can just eliminate right away. The time since the pie has been taken out of the oven, I would say that we can't have negative time. So it's going to have to be one of these two. This looks like the longer that it's been out, the lower the temperature goes. This looks like the longer that it's been out, the higher the temperature it goes. I'm hoped you picked that one. Okay, now sometimes we draw a trend line, and a trend line, I kind of did that when we did the correlations. I put that line on there, and so a trend line can help you see the correlation if you can take an arrow and make it kind of fit in there, but it can also be used to help with predictions. So this is an example of a scatter plot, and it shows the relationship between the amount of money collected at a concession stand and the total number of tickets that are sold, and you would expect that to have a positive correlation. And when I draw that line in there, and again, that line doesn't touch every dot, but it's a really good representation of it. So we're going to use this line then to predict how much would be collected at the concession stand if we sell 150 tickets. So this is the ticket sold. So I go out here to 150, all right? And then I just go straight up until it touches that line. And then I look over here and say, oh, well, it looks to me like we're going to raise like maybe $750. Okay, so you can use it with predictions. And that is it.